All right, everybody. This is Magic Talk. I almost said Listen Up Santa Paula because I do way too many podcasts. But this is Magic Talk with yours truly, James Lantiegne. And to my right, I have Joshua. We've done this invisible man trick. It's actually working out really great. He will be with us shortly. But we got some special guests with us today. We got Ron Saylor.
Hi, Jim.
How you doing?
Good to be here.
And we got John Hamisch.
Jim,
how you doing?
Good.
So is John your bodyguard?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely a good friend and a helper behind the scenes.
Okay, somebody that fights off all those screaming fans.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, we've got more coming your way, and we're working solo today, so I have to do the buttons. But we have more coming your way right after.
Rough Edge FM, irritatingly irresistible internet radio at roughedgefm.com.
The art of magic is mystery, majesty, pageantry, and craft. It's also about history, marketing, networking, and more. All of these topics and others are discussed on Magic Talk with your hosts, renowned magician James Lantiegne and owner of the White Rabbit Magic Shop, Joshua Lantiegne, now on Rough Edge FM.
All right, I bet you did not know that renowned magician.
I'm impressed every time.
I know. Our producer is too kind.
Yeah. There it is.
So John, are you like a magician as well?
No, I dabble in it, just getting into it, but I am a fan of the art.
The enthusiast.
The enthusiast.
So you are the magic. See, that's who we target, is the magic enthusiast.
So there you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
we are all about the magic enthusiast. So being an enthusiast and having respect for the art means that you also respect the secrecy and the code and all that kind of stuff, which is great because
I know nothing.
You know nothing. So
that's exactly what you need.
I know nothing.
Yeah. What secret?
So
Are there secrets?
No,
I didn't know.
I don't like keep secrets.
Yeah.
There was a magician who is now gone comedian who did a podcast and was just having this rant about how magicians. He's like, you're not gonna believe this, but magicians actually have a magic shop where you can buy other people's tricks, and it's like,
okay,
yeah. Not everybody goes out and creates their own stuff.
Every art does this.
Yeah.
You buy each other's music, you buy each other's films, you buy each other's magic. Yeah.
He actually said it's the only art form where they actually use other people's stuff.
Yeah,
Have you ever heard of music?
Yeah.
Cover bands
come out of a rock recently.
Yeah. And so then he's like, and they'll tell you how to perform the trick word for word, and it's like, again, cover bands. So
there's so many things, magic and music. I've told this story so many times over the years. Magic and music goes hand in hand in so many ways, and I think the single most is in music. You pay someone royalties to sing their song, and in magic you buy the secret or the prop to perform someone's art. It's the same difference. It's just you're only purchasing it once, hopefully, unless you buy a prop that breaks and you have to replace it over and over and over. But yeah, it's exactly the same thing. And whoever this person was, I do not know whom we're speaking of.
He's very famous, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I think it'd be better if I didn't know, but he doesn't get out much. I'll just say that.
Yeah. Well, he turned comedian, and he was talking about how comedian, all the jokes are original and all this kind of stuff. It's like, are you kidding? You know how many comedians rip off other people's material?
Yeah.
So my invisible son is about to materialize
out of thin air,
right before your eyes,
and footsteps on the floor.
Yes.
There you go.
So Josh,
how you doing?
Make your grand entrance.
Your renowned entrance.
You're renowned. Oh, he went upstairs.
Oh, he's gone. That was exciting.
Yeah.
We'll edit that out in post.
Yeah, part 2. So what got you into magic, John?
Many decades ago, just in school, magicians used to come and visit, and just visiting in Vegas, it just slowly pulls you in, as it will.
Yep.
And just the talent and the skill and the time involved it's just outstanding.
And how did you guys meet?
Yeah, that's a good question. How did we meet? I'm not sure I have the answer to that. So I think John showed up at one of my shows sometime in the past.
And he was looking for a
lovely assistant. That's
Yes,
what it
lovely
was.
assistant.
No,
Okay.
but I think honestly that's
Somebody
how we
that-
met. You heard I was performing and showed up at a show, right?
Yeah, heck, it was many a moons ago.
Yeah.
So he did the Wakeling sign in half for you.
He did.
Yeah,
Now you know. It's crazy. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And he is the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe how.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but John's a sweet guy, and so obviously we hit it off, and we've been good friends for a long time. Yeah, I surround myself with good people. This is what I do.
Oh, I'm one of those people.
I have a close circle of good friends. Two of them are in the room right now.
Wow.
It's that's the best thing to do is be
So- I tell everybody that I had to grow the beard because too many people were thinking I was Ron Saylor. So, but yeah, so we had to. But here's what's weird is so Ron's left-handed, I'm left-handed. Ron plays drums, I play drums. What were some of the other things? I did have a goatee for the longest time.
we both have a mother. We no, I don't know.
There were several things.
There were.
Like, yeah.
That's true.
Were you the baby?
Yeah, I was the youngest of two kids.
I was the baby.
Okay.
I
I don't know. It's funny. We have talked about this before. None of it has been stored in my memory clearly, but when we do talk about it or things come up, it's always like, oh my gosh, that too, another similarity. So we do have a lot of weird similarities of our past.
And it's funny because when I went to one of the Celebrities of Magic shows and I went to go get my ticket, they were like, "Oh, are you Ron's brother?"
Oh, did they really? Well, there you go. See, there. It's funny.
So yeah,
you're just like, yeah. Is there a discount for that?
yeah. Do I get it free? So how long have you two known each other?
Not too long. 10 years. Less?
I think more.
Oh, more. Okay, there you
Okay.
go. See, it's a blur.
Time's
Everything's a
just
blur for
flying
me.
by.
You know what? I mean, it's like I never keep track. I just enjoy friendship, enjoy meeting people, enjoy collaborating and stuff like that.
All right. So have you ever performed any tricks in front of anybody aside from family?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm just now getting used to that because I also realize that if I'm going to do something like that, you're going to have to spend some time, or I'm going to have to spend some time learning that trick, because you're just not going to go out there and go, ta-da, look what I just bought. No,
well,
you want it to go smooth.
I mean,
there are a few people who do that.
Yeah, there are too many people that do that, but
Yeah.
it's good to hear that you don't want to do that.
So, so Ron, what would you say if I were to ask you, what is, because I know you're very diverse in your magic, as am I. We do close up, we do parlor, we do stage, whatever.
Mentalism, illusion. Yeah.
So what would you say your favorite medium is?
So yeah, well, honestly, that answer changes with the season for me, unfortunately. I've always said mentalism is my favorite. I think in one blanket statement it still is, but I love performing large illusion to this day, and I know that's not as popular now as waves come and go. It will be again. But I also this past year I've been doing so many close-up shows that I've fallen in love with sleight of hand again too. So I mean, it's we're greedy in the world of magic, I think, which is ultimately a good thing. We love what we do and do what we love. So I never wanted to limit myself to being a close-up magician or being a stage magician. I wanted to, be the master of all craft and perform whenever I want.
See, that's the difference, I think, between Ron and I. He just said the master of all crafts. I say, oh my gosh, jack of all trades, expert of none.
Oh, expert of none. No, but I have, I mean, if a client is going to book me, they're going to want to see the best that I can do.
Yeah.
So if they're booking me for a mentalism show, they're expecting that to be my best form of magic learned. And if somebody's booking me for an illusion show, the same thing. So yeah, I better be the master of all craft.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not going to get those return gigs. So.
Right. And I was joking about that, by the way.
Oh no, I understand. But there are magicians that have said that before, like, oh, you do all kinds of magic. I'd rather be just good at one.
So I think this is where you and I are pretty similar, because there are a lot of very famous magicians where they've been doing the same act for the last 20 years.
Absolutely.
And it does not change.
Nope.
And so, whereas with me, I'm constantly switching things up. I'm adding things to the show, taking things out of the show.
Yeah. Keeping it fresh.
Yeah.
I think, see, and I love that about both of our shows, because it makes it enjoyable for me personally to perform it. So I know I'm giving back more of a personable, enjoyable show to the audience.
Right.
That's, we all feed off of each other's energy. I truly believe that. But for those magicians that do the same show they've been doing for 30 years, God bless them if they can still, pull an audience out of that. I know there's people that want to see the exact same, so I don't know. I don't think there is a wrong answer. I think there'd be a wrong answer per the individual performer if you are trying to fool yourself. So I think for me, and apparently you as well, we just need to keep everything evolving.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, this Christmas season, I've brought back a couple of classics that I haven't done for 10 years. That
because it's fresh for you.
It is now fresh all over again.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you can't own a magic shop and not like add things to your show.
Sure. Yeah. No, you have the best of all worlds.
Yeah. Everything that comes in is like, oh,
I should just try this.
Yeah. This might find a home.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. It's one of the dangers. I always had told Josh, I said a magician should not own a magic store.
Yeah, probably not.
So
my wife wouldn't like that.
Yeah. Exactly. So one of the things that, and I know a lot of these guys, they are very famous, especially in the magic community. They're,
sure.
They're hugely famous. And like Johnny Ace Palmer, who can't not watch him over and over and over again?
Same show for 25 years.
Yeah.
And it's a great show.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect example of someone that doesn't need to change a thing. Everybody loves his show, and he gets, rebooked by same clients year after year to do the exact same thing. They don't want to see anything else.
Right. And there are some guys that like I know a couple of them where I've always joked and said, if I pull the audience out of the theater, you're still going to be doing the same lines, the same jokes, the same everything.
Sure.
And whereas for me, a lot of what changes is based on the way the audience responds or is doing things. So I have a script, but I'm also very much improv, and we actually teach improv here, which I've done a lot of classes in.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's whatever the energy that the audience is giving you, you have to be able to respond and react to that. And if you don't, then your jokes become inappropriate, because it's like you make a joke and it's like, but that's not how they responded to it. And your comeback is like, doesn't fit.
Right.
Whereas like with Johnny Ace Palmer, you watch his energy, and he is truly connected to the audience, and it's like the same level of energy all the time. Everything about what he does is like perfection.
Sure. It's a classic. Ding ding.
Yep. Yeah. So so you said close up is kind of where you're.
I'm loving all these close-up shows of late. So it is now, of course, Christmas season. So this time of year, I have a lot of corporate parties that book me for one-time gigs, and the typical booking is a 45-minute or an hour-long show, preceded by an hour of strolling magic or close-up magic. So I'll do a combination of both at the shows, and which is great for me. I'm already there. Let's do some extra magic. And for the client, it's amazing because a lot of these people, I never knew you did close-up. And then I come back later to do nothing but a close-up show. So that's always fun.
Now, do you find that there's kind of a shift in, we had talked about this a little bit during lunch, that I seem to be getting more strolling gigs?
Yeah, you were saying that.
Parlor.
So, not for me personally. That's been a wave for your career right now. But for me, this season, it's definitely been combination shows. I did have one show this season that all they wanted was close-up magic. But it sounds like you're getting several of those right now.
I'm getting a lot of strolling.
That's great.
And so parlor used to be my main thing.
Yeah.
And doing a comedy parlor show. But this whole year has been a lot of, and I don't know if it's because we do the Spellbound show, which is our close-up show.
Sure.
And so people are starting to see that. But it seems like most of the calls are, hey, can you come do a strolling?
That's great.
So, and it's easier.
Oh yeah,
to a degree.
Yeah, less setup, less tear down.
Yeah, it's as far as setup and tear down. I mean, it's a lot of work because you got to intermingle with people, and you got to reconnect to the group, and then you move on to another group, and you got to create a connection with them. And for me, rejection is the worst when you go up to somebody and say, "Hey, would you like to see a magic?" And they're like, "Nah."
I don't see that's never happened to me.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Darn.
I know. I'll tell you another thing about close-up shows is I've got some of my best reaction footage because there's always people taking photos of your act, and they see you on the stage, and then there's great when I'm doing a little floating table or something that is very visual. There's always great photos taken of those. But the close-up magic, people are reacting every second that you're doing close-up. And so when some random person is taking a photo and they send it your way, I have got some of the best little impromptu moments just from close-up. In fact, I don't use it now because I'm older, I'm gray and whatever. But before my hair went gray, I used the same photo for, I don't even know, 15 years probably, of a close-up set I did in oh goodness, what was that venue? Maybe you can help me out. It used to be at Anaheim, downtown Disney, like a Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was working the Hard Rock Cafe, and I was doing strolling magic up in the upper level. And I literally for 10 or 15 years, I used the same photo because I had this two girls that you would have thought I resurrected the dead out of that. It was just their reaction was that crazy. And it was, couldn't have planned it better in the world. Hey, Josh.
Hi.
Josh will be joining us in 1 second. So he's got a baby now.
Oh, yeah. Happy baby.
Makes getting to work on time a little harder.
That's okay.
So
I'm getting a baby for Christmas.
You're getting a baby for Christmas?
A little dachshund baby. Yeah.
Oh, I saw that Dotson. Yeah. Cute little dog.
December 23rd. We get
really
to bring her home.
Oh, nice.
Getting our new fluffy baby.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So we normally have our fluffy here, but
nice.
Julie stayed home today.
There you go. Yeah.
So one of the things that probably one of the worst things that I ever came across in strolling is it was at a restaurant gig doing table hopping. And this couple was talking. They didn't seem like it was, because I always tell people when you approach a table, make sure they look like they're having a good time.
Yeah.
And this couple was having this conversation. And so I walked up to the table and they stopped and I said, "Oh, excuse me. I just wanted to introduce myself. And are you guys enjoying everything?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I said, well, the restaurant invited me to come in and do some magic. Would you like to see a trick? And they're like, "Did you not see us talking?" And I went, "Oh, I'm sorry." Okay, well, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm sorry to interrupt. And I moved on. That like crushed me.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. People talk at every table at this restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, did you not see me talk? If I didn't go to a table that wasn't I would be standing there looking at all the tables going,
Yeah.
oh, everybody's talking. Why won't they stop? Everybody's talking.
That's from what it sounded like in that particular situation when he told it to me. I'm like, oh my God, there was another magician? He could communicate telepathically? Holy crap, I thought you were the only one. Because apparently there was no talking between the two of them, no love whatsoever. And it was still, they're like, we're talking here, come on.
Yeah, it was definitely I guess it was
rude about it too.
Did you see what I was saying?
What?
Read it. So John, how many shows have you seen of Ron?
A lot.
A lot of shows.
A lot, and I never get tired of it.
Really?
That's, I mean, you know what? Every show's different. Every show's different. Every performer's different. It's an ongoing.
And a lot of it has to do with the energy of the audience.
Yeah.
That can really change.
So he's talking about my Celebrities of Magic series.
Oh,
now,
yes,
when he
'cause
said every performer is different.
Okay.
So for those of you tuning in, so besides performing all these shows myself, I also produce a show on the side called Celebrities of Magic. And so so that may or may not make sense unless you have the background that I'm either on the stage or behind the scenes. But the Celebrities of Magic series, we just did our 158th show.
158.
158. Wow. We only do one a month, so literally 158 months long. And
so we have 200. We're up to like 260 something for the podcast.
there you go. That's fantastic. Good party. So, congratulations.
Yeah. And we're ranked number 3.
In Magic Podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and it's by an independent podcast service, so it's not amongst them. But one of the coolest things was Jeff McBride put out a post of some of the favorite talk shows, magic talk shows that his students listen to, and we were in the list.
Awesome.
So
that's a good place to be.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna end up doing a little talk and review about this trick called the dolls.
There you go.
The reason why I'm doing that is there's actually a magician who was like, I'm intrigued by the dolls, but there's no demo or anything. I have no idea what it is, and it's hard to get it from the description.
Okay.
So we're going to give a little presentation of that. Josh, I'm going to move out of the way so you can come sit here, or you can walk behind and squeeze in. And let's see.
Yeah. Nobody does that as good as you.
make it all dramatic.
You actually disappeared there for a second, Josh.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. It's all part of my act.
Yeah.
Is it good? Should I buy it? Does it suck? Did I get ripped off? Is it more of a craft project than a magic trick? These questions and more answered now on the Magic Item of the Week here on Magic Talk.
All right, so the magic item of the week is called the dolls.
So, one question.
Yes.
Is it good?
Yes.
Does it suck?
No.
Okay. Are you getting ripped off?
And it's not a craft project. I do not have to make my dolls.
Yeah, that's very good.
That is good news.
You know what? That would be a pain in the butt. Could you imagine trying to make these tiny little things?
I do not have that time or patience.
Yeah. So these are the dolls. They're little tiny doll things.
It's a bizarre style type of effect.
It is kind of a bizarre. It's taken after the Bermuda Triangle kind of effect. But this is by Sean McMaster, and he had gotten permission to take the concept of this routine and add these dolls to it. Now, we are looking at it from the table. So essentially, if we were to add up all these dolls, there are 4 dolls there, 3 dolls, that's 7, that's 2 is 9, plus 4 is 13. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 4 is 13. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 2 is 9, plus 4 is 13. So there are 13 dolls in each one of those lines. And I don't know if you're familiar with these dolls or not, but they're actually worry dolls. So the idea behind it is that if you whisper a worry to this doll. He will take it to amongst the villagers, and he will pass that worry on to another villager, and so on. And ultimately, that villager will then leave the circle and take your worry away.
I have a question.
Yes.
This is the performance of the dolls.
Yes.
Are we giving our audience the free performance?
We are giving them, yes, because I was just explaining that one of our customers was curious about the dolls, but there was no video performance of it for them to be able to see. So this is our little performance for him.
So this is the demo for the doll.
This is the demo for the dolls. So Ron, go ahead and take that doll.
Yes, orange.
And whisper a worry to the doll.
Yes,
You did.
yes.
Okay.
Worry whispered.
Worry whispered. Now, place that doll in any one of the little assemblies there.
By me.
Yeah. So now that doll then takes the worry and passes it on to another doll, who then takes that worry and passes it on to another doll, until ultimately one of them leaves the circle and the worry is taken away. Now, how do we know if it left the circle? 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 2 is 9, plus 4 is 13. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 4 is 10, plus 3 is 13. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 4 is 13. So they all still add up to 13. So one of those dolls carried that worry away. John, whoop. Go ahead and take that doll right over there. Whisper a worry to it. Maybe you need a bigger doll. So
My size.
So go ahead and place that doll in any one of the circles. So these are little communities of dolls. So again, that doll then gives whispers the worry to another doll, and then that doll takes it to another village, and then that village goes and passes it on to another village, and so on, until ultimately they take the worry and they take it away. So let's see. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 2 is 9, plus 4 is 13. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 4 is 11, plus 2 is 13. 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 4 is 13. There's still 13 dolls in each one of those rows.
Even though there are 2 added.
Even though we added 2. So the worries got taken away. And so you can do this over and over and over. In fact, Josh, how many times did we do it one time?
This entire packet, all of these dolls right here, every last one, I put it into the triangle, and it worked every single time
with like 15 extra dolls.
Yes.
That is
single
astounding.
time. So I was floored. I thought you could only get away with it 9 times.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It was.
I would have said a couple.
Yeah.
Well, reasonably, you would only want to do it maximum 3 times, performance speaking. But I just tried it for the sake of trying it, and it worked.
So it's one of those things where you look at it and you go, okay,
there's no possible way, but it worked.
Before you say anything, so I understand the concept. I understand the secret behind it. For anyone not knowing the secret, are you about to tip the secret?
No,
or you're not going to. So I won't say anything. So that is amazing to me, knowing how it works.
Yeah.
And it still works. I did not know you could add 10 or 15 dolls to this.
And what's crazy is, even though you may know the method behind it, you still go, how does that work?
Yeah. Okay.
It just doesn't make sense.
That's great.
If you follow the process right, it just does.
It works every time. I will tell you one of the things I love about this. Okay, so we've already said it's uses the Bermuda Triangle principle, but I love these little Mexican dolls that somebody had way too much time on their hands.
Yeah, right. So he's got packages of these things.
Yeah.
It's absurd how many packages there are of this.
And so Sean ensures me that there was no child labor used in order to create.
How does he know?
So
all right. Well,
yeah, he found somebody to make them, and and they're all different configurations.
Sure.
So if we go back to that table, I mean, there's some with 2 legs, there's some with just looks like maybe a little dress, and some
different
with
colors.
Yeah.
Some of them got hair, some of them don't have hair. It's very interesting.
I think the way that he created the story of the villagers and taking the worry away, one of the things that Ron had told me that he will try to do.
Sean,
sorry.
I know they're
I'm,
close.
I'm talking to Ron. Yeah. One of the things that Sean said that he does is he tries to get one of these dolls into either their purse or in their jacket or
Right.
somewhere on their person, so that when they go home, they all of a sudden find this little doll going, "Oh my God, what?" Yeah, it's like, "Oh, my
Yeah.
Warner's back."
Yeah.
So
That's a great concept. Just a month later, cleaning out a purse.
yeah, just freak them out.
I will say it does give way to a lot of different presentations. It doesn't have to be the one just given, which I appreciate, because this one, I'll say that Sean's way of doing it, it's a little more upbeat, because it's kind of like, oh yeah, this is a positive note. I have definitely taken it more of a excuse me, this flies.
Yeah,
It's going to
Ron brought him from Bakersfield.
Thank you.
So an alien fly sitting in a Santa Paula shop. All right, but anyway, I do it as kind of a spooky thing.
Sure. Oh, this is
It's more of
Halloween shows all year long.
yeah.
it's basically that. It's mine has more of a scary negative connotation to it, but you know, it gives way to that.
Do you
It's not
stab
just
anyone
one.
at the end of the routine?
I'm sorry.
Do you stab anyone at the end of the routine?
At the very, very end, like the
Okay.
whole show, really, because I don't want to put a damper on anything
Right.
while I'm doing
Yeah.
it.
Not blaming the dolls.
Yeah.
People have been known to disappear.
There we are.
So anyways, that's Sean McMaster's The Dolls. Sells for $24.95.
25.
25. Sorry, we round up. We don't like the pennies.
Oh, there you go.
And by the way, for the people who
Yay.
get offended by this, it's Merry Christmas. So
Happy holiday.
yeah. So
Merry Christmas.
okay. Anyway, going back. So Sean, you were now I'm gonna call you Sean instead of Ron. You created these about 5 minutes ago. And so Ron,
Yes,
so you're
I'm back.
Yeah. Hey, where'd you go?
It's a live show.
Yeah. So you produce Celebrities of Magic.
Yeah.
And you said you're on your 153rd?
158 we just did.
58.
Yeah.
158.
Our next show is January 13th, and it features David Goldrake.
Oh wow.
Is coming back. He's currently in I don't know, Asia somewhere. I don't know.
So how many so I know the Celebrities of Magic is like, you know, the Celebrities of Magic.
Sure.
So what how many magicians would you say you've cycled through that program?
Yeah. Yeah. So there are some performers that have come back and done a second show. Only a tiny little handful have done 3. So out of 158, we've probably 125 of them have been
All unique.
all unique shows. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's pretty close to an accurate number. I'd have to look it
That's
up.
incredible.
But yeah, everybody from Kevin James, McBride, Jonathan Levitt was last month. Let me go backwards in time. It's always a blur, and so I didn't plan on coming up with names, but
you've had some pretty significant illusionists on there.
yes. So we a couple of let me see. Who you should know, you're in the audience.
Well, Kevin James for one.
Yeah, no, but
Have you had the Pendragons?
Jonathan Pendragon has been
Okay.
in the show. Not Pendragons.
So not when they were the Pendragons, it was
Just
just Jonathan.
definitely a solo
Okay.
show, yeah. But yeah, and so
David Copperfield.
David has not done the show.
He's yeah.
Kind of got that permanent booking in MGM. Kind of a problem.
Yeah. So
It's an ongoing invitation, but you know,
You know.
we're holding out.
Yeah, he told me next month. So it's kind of no, that would be. Oops, sorry. That would be nice, of course. But yeah, it's
that would probably fill out your 100 and some odd seats.
we're already sold out for January 13th.
That's great.
So and today is December 20th.
So there's really not a lot of opportunities for tickets because a lot of people are season ticket holders.
There's 132 seats in the theater, and I have 100 season ticket holders, and so that's really nice.
So you got 32 seats basically that are up for grabs.
That's it, and that's a good problem to be in. It's
Oh, absolutely.
great problem for me, not so good problem for the audience. But we're constantly selling in advance, which is fantastic. And so there's still a couple of shows that don't sell out. There's always a couple seats here and there, but most of the shows sell out. So
now, with the season ticket holders, if they can't make the show, are you able to fill those seats, or do they stay empty? Or
I would rather have a full audience. So I tell the performer, no, that's not true. I tell the season ticket holders to give those tickets away to their friends. I have no problem with
somebody in that seat.
Yeah, it's transferable. Does not bother me at all. But I do encourage the season ticket holders to make sure they get their tickets back for the next show, so that they're not.
Everybody block your ears, including the people in the more for the Facebook listeners.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that wasn't loud. I thought we were about to hear a big bang. What is going on here?
Not us, but they did.
Oh, did you get him?
I don't think so.
Okay.
There's a blown up.
That's right. What is that?
What the heck? So now, what kind of magic do you like?
Illusion.
So you like the big stuff?
Yeah, I like the big stuff. I like the sleight of hand. There's not much I don't.
Really?
Yeah, I like all the different kinds, like I said, personalities, everything, because magic has a lot of personalities.
Yeah. So I always tell people that, because a lot of people, they're like, oh, how did you do that? I don't really care. And, tell me how you did that. I don't care if you tell me. And I'm like, I said, honestly, you really don't want to know.
Yeah, of course.
Because part of the magic is the fact that there's this wonder to it. Yep. And you take that wonder away, and it's just somebody up there doing something stupid little trick with it, whatever. But
I don't know if it's a stupid little trick.
Well, no. But,
yeah. Maybe your show.
So, but I always tell people when we teach, because we do a lot of classes here, and I always explain that you have to believe in what's happening just as much as you want the audience to believe in what's happening.
Yeah.
And so, if you're supposedly, cutting somebody in half, then you have to be cutting somebody in half. And or if you make an elephant disappear, that elephant really disappeared. So the audience is going to feed off of whether or not you actually even believe what you're doing. And so I think that's really important. But as a magician, it's kind of hard to get there, because you obviously know the secret. So there's a bit of
acting
talent, so to speak, in being able to get to that place to where you can. It's like Joshua will always say that the magic is happening with me. How do you say it?
Oh, I say that the I'm just as amazed at witnessing the magic as everyone else.
So he's as the trick is unfolding, he's witnessing it just as much as the audience is witnessing it.
It's okay. So it's like taking a little child to Disneyland. You as the adult, obviously, have been there before, but you see it through the child's eyes. So you're experiencing the park, watching the child, fall in love with the moment. That's the way magic is every show. We're constantly watching through, our performers. In fact, myself, so many other performers included, will say, I'm about to perform something. If you've never seen me perform this before, I need a volunteer, because we don't want the person that knows what's coming.
Right.
So we'll intentionally try to pick somebody that, because a lot of our audience does come back and hopefully see more and more.
Right.
But there's always somebody in the audience that has never seen what we're about to do, and they're the perfect volunteer.
Right. Right. And so, I don't, my goal in magic, like I'm not the guy that wants to go and try to fool another magician.
Sure.
That's not my goal.
Yeah.
And there are some magicians that's all they practice for.
Yeah.
They want to be the one that's going to fool the magician. And I think that's a product of the castle being here, because where I come from back east, nobody cared about other magicians,
Okay.
you know. But here,
Fascinating.
yeah, here there seems to be more of that. Oh, I gotta come up with this move or do this thing that magicians aren't gonna know what I'm doing. In New England, we don't care.
It was the hub. Here's the hub for magic.
Yeah.
And people, if you're going to find a magician, go into LA, throw a rock, you're going to probably hit somebody who's a magician. And it's you got to. I get the idea behind that.
Yeah,
but
that's not what my goal. My
No.
goal, I don't really care if I don't want to fool you. I want you to be, to be taken by the wonder of it. So I'm not trying to fool you, because we did a survey one time and we said there were some people that I knew did not like magic, and so we went around and we were talking with different people, and it's like, okay, so what do you not like about magic? And the number one comment was, they make me feel stupid.
Sure.
And so what I really try to do in my show is I'm not trying to fool you. I'm trying to take you on a journey where there's wonder involved.
That is the difference, by definition, between a trick and magic. A trick is anything that can fool somebody, but magic is the experience and making it enjoyable.
Right.
See?
And so if you're not fooled,
great way to put it.
Yeah, then my question is, were you entertained?
Right.
Because that's what it basically boils down to. Did you enjoy the show? Did you have, because yes, some people you're not going to fool, especially if you got a 6-year-old in the audience.
That leads another question.
What?
We haven't asked Ron this yet. I haven't.
Okay.
Who's easier to fool, a magician or a layman?
A layman is definitely the answer is clearly the hardest audience. I always say my absolute hardest audience are 13-year-old boys, because they are illogical, full of hormones, and their mind is going in all directions. So any sleight of hand misdirection that you're doing, they could completely miss the boat because they were never paying attention to where you wanted them to pay attention in the first place. Yeah.
Well, that is that's an element that
yes.
Personally, I'm not ready for that type of element, which is probably why I perform for adults.
There you go. Yes. So yeah, no.
What Josh was talking about is we saw this one magician, and through the whole routine, he was doing an Elmsley count.
Oh wow!
But he wasn't doing an Elmsley count.
Oh,
he was just making everybody think it was an Elmsley.
So by the time, that killed me. That was
by the time he was
blew me
done,
away.
And he showed that, he really only had 4 cards, and they were really only these 4 cards. Everybody was like,
oh,
well, wait a minute, I thought you had an Elmsley count in there.
Okay.
And he's like, nope. I just made it look like I was counting like an Elmsley, but he wasn't. And that stumped everybody, because everybody went down that path. Oh, it's an Elmsley count.
That was,
so
that one killed me. But that was my personal opinion. The hardest people to actually fool are the lay people. The reason being, magicians are easy to fool. All you have to do, just like what Dad was explaining, you just got to do something different from what they know is the way to do it, and then right there, you just fooled them. And it's like like you were talking about with lay people, they're fresh eyes. They haven't seen the trick before, and so if you got somebody who's kind of keen on something, or maybe they kind of have they've got an observing eye, maybe you don't catch them. What was that?
He's going for that fly.
I'm gonna get it.
The timing was good though with the story.
It's do something that they're not expecting.
Yeah.
Does he do that all the time?
Whenever he's not talking, I know when he doesn't like to not be the center of attention. That's kind of the deal. Ask my grandmother.
Oh.
But yeah,
how did you do that?
I've noticed that it's you just got to do something different with a magician, and then you fool them. With the lay people, it's you will probably be more. They'll be more mystified, obviously.
Speaking as a magician in the audience, though,
Yeah.
and not that this is even worth debating, but I just know, for me personally, sitting in the audience, I am rarely fooled by a performer.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because we've been in this art for so long. You wouldn't expect to be.
Yeah.
So we're there to enjoy the art and be just amazed on how smooth the slide is, or whatever they're doing. But it's fantastic when I am fooled.
Yeah.
That's a great experience.
I actually had a magician come up to me after a show in the castle. It was in the parlor. And he saw I had the gold pin, and he's like, "Are you a magician?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he said, "Are you fairly new?" And I said, "No, I've been doing it for 45 years. And he's like, "You look like a little kid in the candy store."
Oh, there you go.
And because I do, for me, when I sit in the audience as an audience member, I truly go in as an audience member.
Separate yourself from the art.
I do.
That's great.
And so I guess from when he was performing, I was sitting there and I was like, I just had this. He said I had, throughout the whole show, I just had this smile on my face, like, nice. And it was like, you were really good. I mean, it was very entertaining. I had a really great time, and I said, honestly, I didn't even think about how the trick was being done. I just totally took that out of my head.
Put yourself.
I just wanted to watch the show, and so I do separate myself from that.
That's good. That is a good trait. I actually try to separate myself, and then I get drawn back in. But yeah.
Even like if you watch me during your shows, I've still got a big smile on my face, because I'm just like, this is awesome. This is, and so I don't know why, but I just have this knack of being able to return back to as an audience member, and I'm not going, ooh, I'm going to watch.
No, yeah.
And then after something is done, and I'm not going, okay, so he would have had to have done this, and I'm just like, oh my God, this was amazing. It was cool. And so, but that's me.
It is hard to go and put yourself in the audience like that. But I do notice that when you do, there are some things that go and slip in. They're like, you just can't help but see it, especially if they do it wrong. But that's besides the point. Even still, it's like you see it and you're like, okay, I wish I didn't know. But you still are able to go and just sit back and say, I don't know what's happening.
See, now my wife has a hard time watching magicians.
Yeah.
Because she does know how most of the stuff works.
Sure.
And so for her, it's that the whole wonder is just gone.
My wife, this is going to start out like really awful, but it's actually a good thing. My wife only doesn't like watching me. Now the reason for that, though, is not how it sounds. She loves seeing my magic, and she's at so many of my shows. But if I'm about to do something that she knows the difficulty behind it, because our wives do know what we do, she gets nervous.
Yeah.
My wife actually gets nervous watching me perform, because she knows, oh, here it comes. It's like, okay, you did it.
So,
all right, you're lucky this time.
I know. It's like, and my response is, well, when did you ever see me not perform that? And she's like, never. But it makes me nervous.
So
that sounds like the story of your dad.
And this is a true story. I tell this story during my show. When I was 15 years old, my dad obviously used to have to drive me to my shows, or my mom.
Yeah.
And I was doing, it was at a church, and I was doing this show down in their auditorium. And about halfway through the show, I see my dad get up, and he walks out. And so I'm like,
devastated.
Yeah, I see this. and he didn't come back.
Oh.
It was like he left the show. And so the whole thing, the rest of the show, as a 15-year-old, I'm just sitting there going like, how come he left? Why doesn't he? Did he not like what? I mean, what the heck?
Yeah.
I only found out on his deathbed that he he could not stand to sit in the audience in fear, like what you were saying with your wife, that I was going to make a mistake. And back then, you made mistakes.
Sure.
And
As a 15-year-old, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and so he was so afraid that if somebody said anything, he would punch them.
Oh, there you go.
You know,
that's one reaction.
Like if there was a heckler or anything like that in the show, or if they said anything derogatory to me, he was going to get up and he was going to nail them. So I actually have this.
Grumps was a good dad.
Yeah, I have this trick called Jumbo Sidekick, and it's a great effect. I use it a lot. I love it. And basically, you have somebody select a card, and then you bring somebody up from the audience, and you tell them that they're going to wave the wand, say the magic words, and the card's going to go flying out of the deck, and it'll be a miracle. And so they wave the wand, and the fringe falls off the table. And it's like, okay, that was an antique table, but that's okay. That's okay. So try this again. Well, the way I start out that trick, and at the very end, the whole table dumps up, everything falls on the floor, but there's a card stuck to the table. And you say, there it is, the 3 of hearts. Thank you very much. Was that your card? And they go, no. It's like, what do you mean, no? It was the 2 of hearts. And then you go like that, and the center pip falls off, and you're left with 2 hearts. And so the way I start out that trick is I say, you know, when I was 15, my dad, and so he was afraid that, you know, he'd punch the guys. So when the table tips up, and I say, was this your card? And they go, no. I go, what part of the story did you not understand?
There you go.
Remember that part where I said my dad was going to come up and rough you up a little bit? No, no, you think you can take him? Okay, well, here, let me make sure that fight doesn't happen.
Yeah. So, but it's a great routine, and I tend to do that a lot in my show. I connect parts of my life to the effect that I'm about to do.
Nice.
Kind of like the thing with the, you know, I was telling you about with the shackles. Yeah. And then,
yeah, had a lot of prison experience. You did?
Well, you know, it's funny. It's funny because
I've not always been this goody two shoes on stage. I have a dark past.
I have a lot of experience in getting out of this. When I opened the show, I explained that from birth to 9, I lived in 12 different places. Okay. And so we moved around a lot. And I said, my dad was wanted by the FBI, so we had to keep moving. And then I go, no, I'm just kidding. He worked for the VA hospital. And then I get in, you know, so I'm telling this all at the beginning as I say about how I got into magic. A friend of mine was in the audience, and he comes up to me afterwards. He's like, your dad wasn't wanted by the FBI? And I went, what are you talking about? I said, you've been saying that your dad was wanted by the FBI. That's why you moved around a lot. I thought he was really wanted by the FBI. I said, did you not listen to the second part where I said it was me? He said, I've never heard you say that part. So for the longest time, he thought we were on the run from the FBI. Anyway, how are we doing there? Oh, Frank says,
hey, Frank.
Just saw Ron at the castle on Wednesday.
There you go.
So
I was at the Magic Castle's members only party.
Oh,
Christmas party.
Okay.
Yeah. It was wonderful, and yeah. In fact, I will tell you, it's the first Magic Castle Christmas party that I've attended in at least 10 years, because I'm always booked at this time of year, and it just happened that we had that Wednesday off, so we reserved spots. Made the decision, if not to book anything at that point, because I was still available at the time, and it was nice to be back.
Cool.
So it's a good. You can check out my Facebook page to see all of the photos.
So you were allowed to take pictures.
Yeah. It was in the inner circle. They opened up anytime there's a members party in the castle, you're allowed to take photos in that area.
Okay.
Not throughout the castle.
Not throughout. Yeah. Cool. So you obviously have a lot of fans.
A few.
And a lot of people following.
That is good. Yeah.
And 2025 is going to be your record year.
2025 is looking very good. Just signed a really nice contract that I don't think I should go into just yet.
Sure.
But we'll next podcast maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good news to come.
Good. Yes.
Yeah.
It's looking good. Thank you. Yeah.
But so next time you come on, we'll expect to see a magic trick from you.
There you go.
Oh, he's put me on the spot.
Yeah. Utter silence.
So I am glad that your bodyguard was able to come.
I appreciate it.
And that's why we're on this side of the table. Yeah, we were told that we had to.
Stand back.
Yeah, we were told we had to
Healthy
have
distance is what he
4-foot separation.
Arms
So,
reach.
so anything you want to? I do want to say, this is the end of the year. We are getting close to the new year. What is one of the things that you are thankful for this year?
So many things. My goodness, I am
I just
thankful.
took the show to another 2 hours.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. No, but honestly, it's so cliche, but it's so true. I am thankful for good friends, family. I'm thankful for my audience that loves the show and keeps coming back. Thankful for my career, and then the little things. My little baby doggy that's coming home in a couple of days.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What is your greatest magic find this year?
Something that I purchased and added
Yes.
to the show.
That you were like, oh my God, this is golden.
Well, this year it's probably, that's what it would be. I have a new updated state of the art Kevin James snowstorm that definitely took everything out of my old Kevin James snowstorm, which served me very well for many years. But it's nice to get the upgrade.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was.
And so that took Snowstorm to a whole new level.
It did. Yes, I had the theater complaining about me after the show. It definitely had a
That's
level
when you
of-
know.
It was
Yeah.
just perfect, just enough.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like
All
the
right.
neighbors going and saying the music's too loud. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes.
All right, John, what are you thankful for?
He pretty much summed it up. Friends are always important. The
Are-
people I
are-
meet.
Are we your friend, John?
Yeah, I mean,
We're fast
I
friends.
think it's okay.
Okay.
I know
John
it.
looks like the kind of guy that could hurt you in a dark alley.
I'm sure.
So he's the kind of guy you want as a friend.
I don't bite.
He's like
No.
a bulldog. He just looks menacing.
Yeah,
I've
he
got
doesn't.
two of those.
He doesn't
Yeah,
bite.
right? See,
But
he
he
knows.
Yes.
He doesn't bite, but he does chase storms.
Yeah, it's a storm chaser.
Yeah.
Legit true.
So
Really, dude, that's
Yeah.
a story.
how about you, Josh?
What am I thankful for? Well, he's about at my my mid thigh level, and he's at home right now.
Yes,
so
he is.
Oh
I'm
my gosh.
thankful for
Yeah,
him.
it's
Okay,
awesome.
Josh, I got to interrupt you.
Yeah,
I didn't say I'm thankful for my wife and family, did I?
Yes, you
Oh,
did.
did I? Did I?
Yeah.
Okay,
you
good.
added that.
Yeah.
I better have, because I'm so grateful and thankful
Just
for that.
automatic.
It's just, yeah, but then I played it back in my head and I was like, what did I say? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You're-
Back to you.
You're good. You're not in trouble yet.
No, I was in trouble in my own heart because I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. is that-
Yeah, you can't go to your wife afterwards and say, "But honey, you know I'm always grateful."
I meant it. Yeah. There you go. Okay.
So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so
Well, the
Josh-
most recent thing, it's him.
Yeah.
My adorable son.
yeah.
My adorable
Yeah.
son Tony.
And how old is Tony now?
Tony is 16 months now.
16 months. Okay.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
but a happy little baby too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
happy little baby.
He is happy about 90% of the time.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And he
There's a
sleeps.
solid actually he sleeps through the night, which is really nice.
Wow.
We got lucky. We keep telling everyone
Doesn't sleep much during the day, but
no, he is full of energy during the day, but yes,
The
he is.
16 fingers are just perfect.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. He has to have something wrong
Oh,
with him. A little bit of a quirk, right?
And you'll
Something.
find out when he gets teeth.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
You know what's funny is you can go up to him and you can say, "Do you want this?" And he'll be like,
Oh, okay.
he
Wow.
actually will answer it. So he's a smart little
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't say much, but he does know how to
Yeah, there
tell
you
you
go.
what he wants.
yes and no,
That's very
Okay.
cool.
and it's responding appropriately.
Yeah.
It's, you know, because if you do hand it to him, like, "Oh, I know you're saying no, but you want it," he will like throw it away or throw it back or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he'll go for the thing he wants.
Nice.
He's gotten into this new thing now about thinking about what his answer is, because he'll look. No, he'll stop it.
So for me,
I'm sorry we didn't ask you.
yeah, I know. I got to tell you, chasing this dream has been such a huge sacrifice for my wife.
Okay.
Like huge. And I've told you some of the stories about the buildings we were in and all this kind of stuff and what happened and things of that nature. But we have lost so many things as a result of me chasing my dream. And yet my wife still stands behind me and she still supports me in it. And this Christmas, there's not gonna be a lot of presents under the tree. And she's like totally okay.
Wow.
And so she loves me enough to make a very huge sacrifice, and I know she does make a sacrifice because she goes out without a lot so that I don't have to. And so
unsolicited plug. What's the .org? What's the name of your nonprofit?
It is called the House of Magic. By the way, I can plug my show.
I'm just throwing it out. It's
he's feeling it.
yeah.
He's a gracious guest, man.
So-
Come on.
So we have the House of Magic Foundation for the Arts, which is thomagic.org. And then
501c3, so any donations are tax deductible.
yes. And then Joshua and my wife share in the magic shop, and that is WR Magic or WR-magic.com.
See, my
And-
mother loves him.
and the shop has tons of amazing things. So
Like state of the art quality.
if you don't want to just make a donation, come buy some stuff because this shop is amazing.
It pops soon as you walk in.
We-
This is one of the nicest shops.
I'm walking
Thank
away
you,
with
guys.
$2,000 worth of things. I'm not making that up.
He's not. In fact,
Thank you
There
again.
there are 5 cases in the back
Yeah.
that are just waiting for him to take out of the store.
It's true.
So we thank you.
We
for that.
appreciate the business.
Yes, yes, yes.
We're happy to serve too.
Yeah.
So yes, mom owns the shop with me because as much as she stands behind dad, she's like, okay, no, now it's my turn. So
Yeah.
dad didn't get a slice of the
As
pie.
much as she stands behind me, she loves Joshua more.
You know what?
Well, I'm her eldest son. Come on, there's got to be some give, right?
I think we're thankful and we're blessed to have the wives we do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, because you're
Dude.
supposed to go chase storms.
right.
Yeah.
Dude.
By magic and
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's
hang
awesome.
I mean, there truly is. If you get into magic and everything, there truly is a sacrifice that because when do we work most of the time?
All day
Nights.
and all night.
Yeah.
And all day.
Yeah.
And
Well,
all
yeah. All day you're chasing. All day you're chasing,
Yeah.
and nights
Yeah.
you're performing.
Sure. Yeah.
And so there's a lot of times, and thankfully, my wife used to go to a lot of the shows with me, so we weren't always apart. We were there, but yeah, there is even if you're doing very well, like Mr. Saylor will be doing in 2025. There's still a sacrifice that the wives make.
Absolutely. There's the old joke, and I know you know this joke, but it's so true and it's so funny at the same time. How do you have a magician end up with $3 million?
How?
Start them out with $4 million.
I did not hear that joke. Wow,
That's a good one.
that's awesome.
That's a good one. It's funny
So-
and it kind of hurts at the same time.
So here's
It's home a little bit.
here's the truth. How do you start a magician with $2.5 million?
Oh God.
Or no, how do you break a magician? Start them out with $2.5 million, and then say, "Go live your dream." So we had a software company that we sold, and that is how much money we made. And
That's
and that
I didn't
and
have any
I
of
tell
it.
people, I say I was a millionaire for 40 days.
40 days.
40 days.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Very
Yeah.
biblical, actually.
Over a month.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. And then we pursued a dream.
Yeah.
So anyways, with that being said, everybody have a Merry Christmas. And if you celebrate Hanukkah, which happens on the same day as Christmas,
This
it
year,
starts on the
crazy.
same day. Weird.
Usually it's before.
Way before. Usually.
Yeah. So
Beginning of the month, actually. I
enjoy
believe.
your holiday. Have a great Christmas. We will see you before the New Year is out.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and I believe it's Blessed Kwanzaa.
Okay.
Blessed Kwanzaa.
Yeah, just Kwanzaa. There's people.
Thanks for having us on the show.
Okay. Thank you, Ron, for coming on, and John, it was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
And all the fans are still outside the door, so be sure to protect him on the way out.
We'll take you up the back.
Yeah.
So
All I got to do is run faster than him.
that's all you got to do, right?
So, anyways, with that being said, thanks everybody for listening. We will see you all next week.
This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.